Enjoy the barbecue, baby.
Welcome once again, my fellow manipulators of Digital Fate. I'm Richie, this is Capricorn. We're finally back to Standard, and it feels so good. Before we talk about today's deck, I want to give a huge shout out to my patrons over at patreon.com/quarantinedcapricorn. That's Bob Steele, Brittany, Yuck Fuzi, and Noah Vincent at the Brew Crew Elite tier, and then of course Terrence Robach, our CPU savior. Thank you guys so much for all of your contributions. It really does go a long way to helping keep this channel moving forward. Today's deck in particular is called SUNSTAINED. And the reason for that is because we are trying to utilize Sunfall in conjunction with Invasion of Tolvada. Now, Invasion of Tolvada is a card that I've wanted to use for a long time now. In particular, the backside, the Broken Sky, is a really good enchantment that I feel is really underutilized, and the trick is to find a deck that can make very good use of both sides of that card, and I think we might have done it with this one. Before we check out the deck, make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below, let me know what kinds of decks you want to see come up as future deck techs. All that stuff really helps the channel get out to that many more people, and helps the channel grow so that I can keep doing this full time. And of course, catch me live over on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/quarantinecapricorn, because if I'm alive and I'm breathing, I'm there and I'm streaming. Let's check out this deck. Alright, so this entire deck is sort of built on the premise of how do we get as much value out of and make the best use of Invasion of Tolvada. Invasion of Tolvada is a March of the Machine card, 1 black, 1 white, and 3 for a battle siege. When Invasion of Tolvada enters the battlefield, to return target non-battle permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield, which is awesome. But if we can do 5 damage to it or remove the 5 counters in some other way, we get to flip it and play the Broken Sky for free, which is an enchantment. Creature tokens you control get +1/+0 and have lifelink. And at the beginning of your end step, you create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying. So the idea here is I want to try and get the most value out of actually the backside, the Broken Sky. And I thought to myself, how do we make a deck which synergizes very well with the Broken Sky while also not making the front side of Invasion of Tolvada useless? And what I came to was the idea that we could sort of play a Superfriends control deck that is heavily steeped in tokens. So the idea is we have a lot of Planeswalkers. Planeswalkers can be brought back with Invasion of Tolvada, but also all of our Planeswalkers are able to make creature tokens that will benefit from the +1/+0 and lifelink that the Broken Sky gives. So they sort of kind of synergize together. And so the idea is, let's make a control deck, let's dig heavily into a token sub-theme, and try to get as much value out of those two and get as much overlapping synergy as we can. So starting at the bottom of the curve, we obviously have some removal in this deck to help keep aggro at bay. We've got 3 cut downs in the 1-drop slot. We've got 2 Drown and Ichors in the 2-drop slot, because as I've said before, we're running a lot of Planeswalkers. It's almost sort of a Superfriends deck, so the Drown and Ichor can help those Planeswalkers get extra loyalty counters, can also help certain creatures get additional +1/+1 counters as well in this deck, so it's pretty useful. And then we also have 3 Soul Partitions as removal, because a lot of times this deck ends up working as almost like a tempo brew, and if we can just remove their threat temporarily, by the time they're online, we usually have so much overwhelming value from our tokens and our Planeswalkers and our Broken Sky that it doesn't matter by the time they can cast it again. But what's really interesting about the Soul Partition is we can use it to save our own stuff and replay it. We can recast the Invasion of Tolvada itself. We can recast Planeswalkers. We have a lot of interesting abilities that we can basically get a second trigger out of with a smart use of Soul Partition. So I think it's a really good choice for removal for this deck. It might even want to be a 4 of, but we're going with 3 here. We've also got 2 Invasion of Gobakhans, because this helps us deal with our opponent's hand, get rid of that key thing that's going to help us extend the game to where we can finally take it over. But also, when we start attacking it with all of our tokens, we can flip it into Light Shield Array here, which is going to start putting counters on all of our tokens and all of our creatures in general, which can be proliferated with Drown and Ichor, but also serves as a way to protect that board state if we're up against an opponent that has a lot of sweepers, for example. Sack the Light Shield Array, keep them around. Generally really good in a deck that's control, or a deck that has a lot of creatures. This deck is able to be control and go wide with creatures, so Invasion of Gobakhan and the backside Light Shield Array is kind of the perfect fit for a deck like this. We've also got 2 Skrelv's Hive. Now, I'm tempted to go more than 2, because spitting out a token every single turn that's eventually going to get buffed up by the Broken Sky, or be able to be used with some of our other token synergies, is really good in this deck, but we never want to be in a situation where we have 2 in our opening hand, or we have 1 in our opening hand and we draw the other one while we're curving out in the first 4 turns, because a lot of times the second one in play can be detrimental. Like losing 1 life a turn, we can sort of out-control our opponent and deal with that, but if we're at the point where we're losing 2 a turn, we have to be in a very specific board state in order to make that work. So if we have a second one in our hand, and we're not really in that board state where we can make 2 life loss every turn work, it's just a dead card that's sitting in our hand that could be something else, and it ends up giving our opponent sort of more card advantage than us, because we've got this 1 card that isn't really there. It's almost like we mulliganed. So we want to be careful to avoid that. My alarm went off. We want to be careful to avoid that whenever possible. But at the same time, we do want to, as consistently as possible, be able to play one of these. So I think 2 is the right number. Moving on to the 3-drop slot, we've got 4 Wedding Announcement. This is an obvious inclusion in a tokens-based strategy, but it's really good for control as well. It's a way to draw additional cards, to make extra bodies. They can chump block and hold off aggro decks until we establish our control. But then all of our token creatures that we're going to have later on are going to get the buff from Wedding Festivity when this finally flips. We've also got 3 Liliana of the Veil, and Liliana is actually a lot better in this deck than you'd think. First of all, the uptick to make each player discard a card can be used to our advantage if we have an Invasion of Tolvada that we know we're eventually going to play on turn 5 or whatever. We can discard a bigger threat, something that we can just get back out of the graveyard with Tolvada, and it's not so much a downside for us as it is for our opponent. But being able to play this on 3, make them sack a creature alongside all of the other control that's in our deck, and then have this Planeswalker sitting around to do more things, can be really good. And more often than not, it's actually relatively common to stick this on the field and just control the board long enough that you get up to the point where you can ultimate and make them sack half their board, which is super strong. We've also got 1 Path of Peril. This is a complementary sweeper in the deck. We can play it early for 3 to get rid of small stuff, but we can cleave it later on to just destroy everything if we're in a position where we just need to reset the board state and retake control of the board. This goes alongside our 3 copies of Sunfall. Sunfall is super great in this deck because not only does it exile everything, but we get to incubate X. So if there's a bunch of creatures on the field, sometimes we even lose a few tokens, and it's okay, because now we make this really big incubate token, and if we get a Broken Sky online, that incubate token is now going to get +1 attack and lifelink, which can be tremendously powerful in the right circumstances. We've also, in the 4-drop slot, got 4 Wandering Emperors, because it's the perfect card for this deck. It helps us control the board just like a lot of the control options we're using, but it also generates creature tokens, which is what we want from this deck, and it's a way to put counters on creatures, and therefore synergize more with Drown and Ichor and the Proliferate, so it kind of does everything we want to do. There's no way we're playing less than 4 of this, because it's just too good. We've also got 1 Sorin the Mirthless, because if we get 1 of these, we're happy to see it. It can make a 2/3 black vampire creature token with lifelink and flying, and that can generate value from some of our token synergies, which is nice. It's also a way to get card advantage. it's not super good. It's not nowhere near as good as the Wandering Emperor. So we're only going to go with one. We don't ever want to be in a situation where we've got two in our hand and we can only play the one. But having the one, we're happy to see the first one. We're happy to play it on curve. It's a lot of value. We've also got two Invasion of Innistrad, and I think this card is a little bit slept on. And I won't lie, when I first saw this card, even I thought it was a little overcosted for what the front side does. Instant speed because of the flash, it'll come down and give anything -13/-13 until end of turn. And then it's a 5 defense counter battle that, if you defeat it, flips into Deluge of the Dead and gives you 2/2/2 zombie creature tokens immediately. Also gives you the ability to pay 3 mana to exile a card from a graveyard. And if it's a creature card, you get another 2/2 black zombie. So theoretically, if you're up against a creature deck, every creature that you exile from their graveyard is going to give you another 2/2, which is honestly kind of crazy. I underestimated the backside, and if you can just flip this in a control deck where you're controlling the board, like, it is an insane win condition. Every 3 mana you spend just spits out another creature. And if your Broken Sky is online, that token creature, that zombie, is going to be a 3/2 with lifelink. All of them are going to be 3/2s with lifelink, which is insane. But also, if Wedding Announcement is flipped into Wedding Festivity, then it's going to be a 4/3 with lifelink. And every 3 mana that you spend is giving you a 4/3 with lifelink. It just gets kind of absurd. Not to mention the fact that it can also just happen to exile problematic cards from your opponent's graveyard. And all of this on the back of something that already killed our opponent's biggest threat at instant speed for 4 mana. I think this card deserves to see a lot more play, and I think this is the perfect kind of deck to actually see that happen in. So originally we were running 1 of this just to try it out, but I think 2 is right because it's just too good to leave as a 1 of. It's possible that maybe we even want to play more of, but it's hard to play too many 4 drops in a deck like this. So we're sticking with 2 for now, and it's worked super well. We've already talked about the 5 drops, Sunfall as our sweeper of choice, obviously Invasion of Tolvada that we're basing the deck around. We have 1 lone card at the 6 drop slot, and it's our final Planeswalker, the Eternal Wanderer. Now this is obviously going to be really good with a token strategy because for 0 loyalty you can make a 2/2 double striking token that's going to get all of those same benefits that all the other tokens are going to get, and if we can put counters on it with the Wandering Emperor or with Light Shield Array, and then proliferate those counters with Drown and Ichor, that double strike really starts to matter. But what's also important to notice here is the -4 acts as a pseudo sweeper as well. So between the Eternal Wanderer, our 1 copy of Path of Peril, and our 3 Sunfall, we have a nice 5 card package here of sweepers that we should be able to draw into pretty effectively, and that will help us control the board while also giving us extra value on top of it. The mana base is also worth noting here. We've got 2 Raffine's Towers just because we need to make sure we've got double black on 3 for Liliana, but we also want to make sure we've got double white on 4 for Wandering Emperor. So it's super important that we have just that little bit of extra black-white dual land baked into the mana base. So 2 Raffine's Towers alongside the 4 Shattered Sanctums, 4 Caves of Koilos. We've got 1 Takenuma, 1 Eiganjo, and 4 plains and 6 swamps, a little bit more tilted towards black because we do want to make sure we get that double black a little sooner for Lily than we get the double white because we can afford to wait until turn 4 for the double white. We've also got 2 Mirrex as the last card I'm going to talk about. Now this helps us get colors that we need on just the right turn if we play it correctly. You know, if we have 2 black mana and a white mana and we wait until turn 4 to play our Mirrex so that we can play our Wandering Emperor, sometimes that can be important. But what's also worth noting about Mirrex is this can spit out tokens for 3 mana and tapping the Mirrex. And those tokens are going to be much more valuable in this deck than they normally are in other decks. And since we're a control deck, a lot of times we are going to control the board and get to a position where maybe we're out of gas, but before the end of our opponent's turn, we can just use Mirrex to make a token, add to our board state, and start to take over because of the ways in which those tokens are going to get buffed with like Wedding Announcement and the Broken Sky and things like that. So I think Mirrex is an obvious inclusion. I think 2 is the right numbers. Again, it ups the consistency of making sure we have at least one to play, but at the same time, you don't ever want to be stuck with more than one early in the game because it can mess with your mana. So 2, I think, is perfect here, just like we have the 2 Drown in Ichor, we have the 2 Skrelv's Hive, and we have the 2 Invasion of Innistrad. I think the 2 Mirrex is also the right number. So this is the deck. I'm excited to try out some 3-color versions down the line, but at its core, I wanted to make sure we got this 2-color version out of the way, set in stone, and really put it to the test and see how it did on the ladder. And I think you'll be surprised at the results. So without further ado, let's check out the games. I'm going to start with a Plains. The reason I gravitate towards Standard, because, like, here's the thing. My first thought also is that I should like Explorer or Historic more than Standard, because my favorite thing to do is brew new interesting ideas. And the bigger the card pool, the more opportunity there is for that. But because I said before, I don't just brew jank, I want my interesting, unique ideas to actually be competitive. And the competition is so insanely fierce the more cards are in the format as you get older, that it's harder and harder to brew something unique that can actually stand a chance. So with Standard, it's like, even though it takes a little bit more work to come up with something unique, like, you actually can stand toe-to-toe with the meta. You actually can. With Explorer or Historic, like, the power level is so high for those decks at the top that everybody runs. Like, you can't... I mean, sure, you might win once in a while on accident, but... especially when I have people watching the YouTube and kind of... like, they're relying on my advice for what they should spend their wild cards and stuff on. Like, I can't risk leading people astray. Alright, play another land. What do I do here? I know what I want to do. I guess I have to do that. Feels kind of bad, but I think I have to. Well, maybe we'll do this. And he'll go, "What the hell is wrong with you? Are you crazy?" And then we'll chump block with the token. And then next turn we'll sack our Liliana to get rid of the Trespasser. I mean, maybe you can, Yuck. I can't. I run into decks that win so fast, like I can't do anything. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Alright, we're gonna try and swing. Just gonna let it through. Not really sure what to do now. Can't really afford to uptick, right? We're probably never gonna get that Eternal Wanderer. Let's do it. Let's do it one time.
Drop it.
Although he's probably gonna play Shieldred, so I really wish I just played Invasion of Gobakhan this turn. But we'll wait. And we will let him swing at Lily, if that's what he wants to do. Virus Beetle. Oh god. Goodbye, Gobakhan. Swinging. 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 Alright, we're just gonna block the Glutton.
Let's let your blade do the talking.
Do not touch me again.
-2 here.
The others can deal with you. It's no fun when... Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
Come on. And we'll go another Lily. 50% of the time, it works all the time.
A fight? And you think you can win?
Alright. -2 again. See what he sacks. Probably the bird.
One of your friends has to leave.
And then we can do this
Strike fast and strike
because it has
hard.
first strike. So if it hits our opponent, he'll get the poison counter and then they'll get lifelink. Nice. Very nice. And now we just, I don't care. We can let our planeswalkers die for all I care. Just start swinging every turn with our huge mites. They've all got lifelink. Go ahead, do the thing. Huh? Is that really what you want? No. You want to send them both at the Emperor. No? Wow. Okay. He just wants us to drain him out next turn. What does he have in his hand? Listen, you hold back the Glutton. You send the Raven Man and the Bird at the Wandering Emperor. That's what you do.
Always glad to meet my man.
A delay, nothing more.
We will draw. Do we Sunfall here? Like maybe. 6, 7. +1/+1 first strike. Probably not, but we could Tolvada. And then swing at the Tolvada and flip it. I think it's better to just Sunfall. Alright. Here we go.
Keep watch for intruders.
Here we go, Mr. President. Here we go. Next turn, we use the Sunfall token to flip the Tolvada after bringing back the Emperor. Oh my god, let's go. Anthologies. Are any of those cards uncommon? Does anybody know? Oh, he scooped before we could do the thing. Alright, we'll keep this. Yeah, I'm focused on trying to get this deck to a final version so I can make a deck tech for it. It's been 6 days since I've uploaded to YouTube, and I'm trying to upload at the very least every other day. Like, bare minimum. If I can do multiple days in a row, I would vastly prefer that. So I got catching up to do. And it's literally just because I've spent so much time playtesting and just not getting decks to quite be good enough to make the cut. Yes. Token control that ends up being kind of tempo-y because of it. Alright. I'll cut you down. Do we play Lily? No, I think we just Gobakhan. I mean... just take out the lightning strike, I guess? Alright. We're gonna Sorin. We're actually gonna uptick. If we -2, he uses a removal spell on each, and we're left with nothing. But if we +1, he has to use 2 removal spells on the Sorin, and we're left with whatever we draw. So we get left with a little bit of value there. And I think that's worth it.
Not be humiliated again.
Sorin's just nuking 2 of his removal spells, which is great.
Balance may never be restored now.
Felden? Who do you think you are? Just who do you think you are?
Nobody knows Dominaria's shadows like.
Alright, Now, if you want to use one of your removal spell on Liliana, that's fine. But you're not going to be able to do anything else this turn.
It's no fun when they hit back.
This guy's running pretty creature light, huh? We'll hold on to Eiganjo for now. Pass turn. We're not going to take any chances right now. Bloodthirsty Adversary. 1 mana short of paying the extra. Alright, we'll kill it. That's fine. That's fine. We'll do this before you can pump it up. And do a little bit of that. Hold up the Eiganjo. Pass the turn. Now the reason I attacked that way is because now I have options. I can either attack the Gobakhan with just one of these to flip it, or I can attack the Invasion of Innistrad with both of them to flip it. Because they got the buff from the wedding festivity. We will take care of Samut. Oh, we got Tolvada. We don't have anything to get back with it, though. So I guess we'll just wait. Man, that card can just be so good. We'll end the turn. I'm just gonna eat 2 of his dudes. Next turn we Tolvada, we flip the Tolvada, and we're happy. Okay, you're gonna scry. Alright, we'll eat Feldon. We'll eat Samut. Thing is just a machine. Holy guacamole.
This is my home, and I don't overthink things.
We'll go here, we'll go here, we'll go here, we'll go here. Just do it all, baby. Just do it all. Let's rock. Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. It's beautiful. It's majestic. Don't you see how majestic it is? It's just, it's so pretty, you know?
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
Warcrafting? On my 6/5? No. Didn't even let me get it. He didn't even let me get it. We'll try keeping this. We'll start with, I guess, Takenuma. In case he plays a real nasty 1-drop. That'll count, I guess. Right, and then we can Liliana next turn and make him sack whatever creature he plays now, unless he plays 2 1-drops again. Army of Transients. And then next turn,
And you think you can win?
should be able to Wandering Emperor.
Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
And then the real question is, do we uptick Liliana? I think because we top deck the land, we do.
Don't
Just dump a Caves. We don't need the Pain land, we have all of our colors. Pass the turn, hold up Wandering Emperor. See what he plays. That actually does sound really cool, Tex. Skrelv. Yeah. No.
Feel the energy of battle. Keep watch for intruders.
Dude, watch this crazy shit. Are you ready?
I have bigger dreams. Isn't how things were supposed
-2
Off you go.
to make him sack Tolvada. Get it back. -2.
Enough with
Make
the
him sack.
Ah, one of your friends
And then we'll
has
-1 to make a dude.
Guards, to me.
That was pretty sick. And then hopefully we can play out our whole hand next turn. And then just uptick Lily. Without a care in the world.
You won't be outsmarting me.
We'll swing at Tolvada. Pass the turn. You know what you should also run? In my version I've been trying to build, I haven't thought of the 4 Mirrodin stuff, but in my version I'm trying to build, I'm also running Spirit Sister's Call. I run 3 Resolve and 3 Spirit Sister's Call, because you can kind of do the same thing. Granted, it's only 1. But still. Still too slow? I'll have to think about that. Some of that. And then we will uptick to make you discard.
Drop it.
And then we'll make a dude.
May your blade strike.
We should be able to swing at the Tolvada next turn. 2 potential creatures here. Removal. Counter. Spirited Companion. Another Tolvada. Could you imagine?
Off you go.
Remember your training.
Swing both at the Tolvada. Now this is a cool situation where if he blocked the Might, we would get the Broken Sky as first strike damage and then we'd gain life. Which is kind of sick. Now we're just like, we're in it. Now we're in it. Although he's pretty low on land, and that's definitely part of the reason, but I still think we've been playing pretty well. And even if he had played more things, I think we could have still got to this point for the most part, because the Sunfall was going to sweep. Sure. Trample. Trample. We'll do it like that.
It's on.
Actually, we probably should have let him kill it, so we could have Tolvada'd it. I think that would have been smart. Does it matter? I don't think it matters.
I have got new moves to teach you.
We'll just let him kill whatever he wants to kill. Because we'll get it back with Tolvada. That's a lot. We'll let you kill it.
Until next time, then.
We will, in fact, let you kill it. Oh, that was a hard scoop. Oh, boy. So, unless I end the game quick enough that I don't get to the point in the game where I would see that flood, you know, which is different. So I don't really think taking out business cards and putting in more land is gonna solve a lot. You want to increase your probability of getting land early in the game and decrease your probability of getting land late in the game. Scrying is the best way to do that. The most efficient way to do that, I think. I think that's a placebo effect, yuck. Because there's no hand smoothing algorithms in paper. So the things that you're learning about Arena should not apply to paper. I mean, there are going to be some things that cross over, of course. Most things will cross over. But we've specifically been talking about how to work against the smoother, right? Which kind of doesn't really have anything to do with paper. Alright. Let's see what we can do here. Resolve. Resolve.
You started this fight, but I'm going to end it. We must protect the people.
Did he hold up a shock? That is actually a bit worrisome. If I block with all 4 and he has a shock, I lose all of my creatures. Okay. That sucks. I did not anticipate that. I didn't think that through well enough. That was a fuck up on my part, for sure.
I'm not overconfident. You're just underwhelming. This is what you get for hurting my people.
Probably shouldn't have swung with that. But it does set me up for 2 tokens being able to swing at the Tolvada and flip it. And if we can flip the Tolvada, we're in really good shape. This is brand new, so there's no deck list anywhere yet for this. This is gonna be the next deck tech, most likely.
Years of training for this.
Try this first. Guess we'll make you cost a lot. Let me think. I think we gotta do it like this. We need the Tolvada online so we can start getting that lifelink every turn. It's gonna cost him 4 mana to lightning strike our blocking token. And then we would just go to 2. First strike, vigilance, haste. Well, we can't have that, can we? He's out of mana. Yeah, we'll just do it like that. That's fine. That's fine, baby. We've got an awful lot of crackback. We'll go with you. We'll go boom, boom, boom. Play the Light Shield Array. Play Deluge of the Dead. End the turn. Look at that. Look at that. We're on the draw. This looks okay on the draw. It's a little bit top heavy, but being on the draw means we're going to be one turn closer to every land than we otherwise would be if we were on the play. So that should help at least a little. See if we can land this Hive and keep it. What would you like to play, Jane? Jane says. I believe I need to get rid of you. All right, now we're good. I feel like we're home free. If he doesn't deal with our board state, we eventually just run him over. If he does deal with our board state, then he's probably not able to hold up counterspells, and we got plenty of value here to get out. That sounds gross, Executor. Gross. Hey, Grixis. Welcome. See you're sporting the Grixis love today. I feel like we just need to land this while we can. So we're gonna.
I'm not overconfident. You're just underwhelming. Guards, to me!
What you got for me? Invasion of Zendikar. That is certainly something. Will it be enough? That's the question. Will it be enough?
Let your blade do the talk.
Swing 3. Now, do we hold up Invasion of Innistrad? Or do we play another Skrelv's Hive? I think we hold up the Innistrad. If he plays a Traxa this turn, we can just rock it. Granted, his hand will be full, but he'll be tapped out and we'll have a hell of a board state. Likeness of the Seeker. I mean, let's try and get him to use whatever counterspell he's holding up. Because clearly he's holding up something. Negate, sure. Six mana. Six mana. 6 mana. Alright, you ready? Oh, it's non-battle permanent. I was almost going to bring back the Invasion of Innistrad. Alright, I got some ideas here. Here's my ideas.
Try not to miss. May your blade strike true.
Would you like to counter it? He doesn't have another counterspell, does he? Alright, since it's a turn, Wandering Emperor enters the battlefield. We can use its abilities at instant speed.
I've learned much during my travels. Let me show you.
So they both swing at Invasion of Tolvada. And then we go +1/+1 first strike.
Show them how we greet our enemies.
Do you have removal? Okay, you do. But still, we force them to use it up, which is nice. Very, very nice. Titan of Industry. Oh god. Good thing he played that now before our Tolvada flips. Maybe we just Sunfall? Tricky. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Can we... We can't flip the Tolvada. Which sucks. We can only do at most 2 damage to it. So, we're gonna Sunfall. We're gonna play this. We're gonna make a boy. Pass the turn.
To me.
Hey, we gotcha. Let's see. We can keep this. This looks fine. We'll start with Takenuma so we can cut down if we need to. No dice. Hold up Soul Partition and cut down. Another black mana would be really nice. I think we just gotta try to play the wedding announcement here. Counterspell. I mean, if we're just hitting counterspells, I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. Pass turn. We're going to try to flash in the Wandering Emperor. Force him to have to use up his mana on his turn, and then hopefully we can actually land something on our turn. Hello. Counterspell me. Alright, you did. Now, hopefully, with a little bit of luck, he's out of counterspells. He hasn't played any card draw at all yet. Okay, cool.
Happy to
We will
help,
uptick.
but I'm taking the credit when we win.
I think we discard... What's better, Cut Down or Path of Peril? Honestly, against this deck, I don't expect there to be anything we can cut down. At least Path of Peril, it's possible to hit their big win condition later on by cleaving it. So we'll hold on to that for now. Discards a land. Fairy Mastermind. Oh, I picked the wrong thing. Although we can still play Path of Peril for 3. And maybe dunk it.
Let's rock!
I'm right there with you, Wild Family. Thank you for the follow. We are rocking. Urtai. don't love it. Oh no, I fucked up. I was supposed to do this first so that he didn't get to draw an extra card. And then I gotta go like this and make him get rid of the ear tie.
The others can deal with friends.
Unfortunately.
Sacrifices
But we
must
can
be
Eternal Wanderer or Invasion of Tolvada next turn. Oh, he had another Fairy Mastermind? Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. Try and land a Sorin, I guess. We want to play the Tolvada last if we can help it. Because the other things that get countered will go to our yard, and then the Tolvada can bring them back. So Sorin, Wanderer, and then Tolvada. And we probably bring the Wanderer back. Although, depending on the situation, Emperor, Liliana, could all be good. He's just got too much card draw. Might be it for us.
Excuse my sudden egress.
Might be it for us. Does he have the counterspell? Yes, he does. Plays the other Fairy Mastermind, sure. Smashes us for 4. Hey, I'm glad you found our channel. That was very nice of MTGA Assistant to put us out there. Appreciate you being here. Let's see. I mean, no matter what, we can only play one thing. We just gotta hope. Nope. Nope. It's just too much. It's just too much, guys. Crazy. Fairy Mastermind and Urtai Resurrected is wild. I've been thinking about playing Urtai Resurrected with, what is that card? The Donate card. Jesus Christ. That's so crazy. I mean, the only way we even have a chance is this, right? And it's not enough. Well, maybe it is actually.
Make room.
Dude, wild. He's got a full grip.
Nobody knows domination.
We've stabilized the board, but he has a full
Haven't
grip.
you ever heard of personal space?
Oh, I think we're toast. Jeez Louise. Yep, we're just dead right now. God damn. That was all right. Wild. We've got 2 Soul Partitions. I'd like a 3rd land here, or another cheap spell instead of one of these 4 drops, but beggars can't be choosers. It's not bad enough to toss back. We'll keep it. Play the Sanctum. We're just gonna have to hold up Soul Partition for a little while until we can get what we need. That's all. Harvester. Get out of here. Thank you. Sanctum. Wedding announcement. Alright, this is okay. We're curving out pretty well. Regatha. It's pretty good right now. Not gonna lie. Sorin. We'll make a boy.
Consider yourself
We'll make another boy. Pass the turn.
You will serve me well.
Bandy boy. He's napping. Another one? Really? Wow. I mean, you kill our 1/1, but that's not much. What are you doing? Okay, here we go. There we go. There we go. Gobakhan. Let's see what's in his hand. Invasion of Asgol. Invasion of Karsus. Oh. You've got all sorts of shenanigans, don't ya? Don't ya? Let's get rid of that. Let's do that. Let's try and get a card. Let's end the turn. Alright, if he plays a creature, we probably cut it down. If he top decks the land and plays the Asgol, we have the token to get rid of. Harvester. We will cut it down. Alright, things are looking mighty fine. I actually think we want more card advantage though. So we're gonna uptick Sorin.
Blood for knowledge. A fair trade.
Let's swing. This is looking like a strong board state. Our Sorin's high enough to survive the Invasion of Karsus. So is our Vampire token. And even our other token is almost. We'll hold up Wandering Emperor. If he does play the Karsus, just trying to kill the token and get our Sorin down to 1, we can at least flash in the Wandering Emperor and put a +1/+1 counter on the human, and it will survive. Or if he's got some way to kill Sorin, we can Soul Partition him. We've got a lot of options here. Pawns a Dex. Well, I guess we'll go like this.
I've learned much during my travels. Guards, to me!
But I mean, I think we would want to keep the Vigilance guy, right? Yeah, so we'll end up sacking this anyway, regardless. Jeez. We have so much going on right now. So uptick, find a card.
You wish to know.
Let's make a dude.
Let your blade do the talking.
Let's Invasion of Gobakhan. Get rid of that, all will be one. Swing here and here. We'll flip another Gobakhan. Yeah, he's gonna scoop. Thanks so much for checking out my channel. I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons over at Patreon. Without you guys, this channel would not be possible, so honestly, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your contributions. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe. The more likes we get and the quicker we get them, the bigger this channel will grow and the faster it will grow. I'd love nothing more than this channel to become something very special for you guys, but it's entirely up to you how fast that happens. Also, if you'd like more deck text, that's somewhere over there. And if you'd like to see what else the channel's been up to lately, that's somewhere up that way. Also, subscribe, circle below, do all the things.